What's going on, everybody? DMV Air 8 back in the building with yet another video where today we're here to talk about the NFL playoffs. So, before I get into it, I must say that the NFL regular season has been a crazy year. It's been a heck of a year, filled with injuries, clutch moments, but most of all, a lot of plays that have gone above and beyond. And just to see the amount of adversity overcome by some teams that are unexpectedly in the playoffs right now is just unbelievable. Very impressed for those teams that were able to make the playoffs, especially the Rams, the Texans, and of course the Detroit Lions. There's many more teams I can think of that have overcome a lot of adversity, just like my Ravens have, but there's so much to get into. So, I'm going to go over the playoff predictions now that the regular season's over, and yet another playoff report in regards to the Ravens. So, week by week, I'm going to go over each round of the playoffs, and I'm going to make my predictions from there. I'm not going to go above and beyond my predictions heading towards the Super Bowl because I'm not fully sure on what's going to happen moving forward. I would love to see the Ravens go deep into a playoff run and get to Vegas in February, but it's uncertain for now. So I'm going to take it week by week, one game at a time, and we'll just see what happens. So for this video, we're just going to do wildcard predictions. So let's get right into it. Start with the NFC side. For the Packers, Cowboys, and again, for each and every game, I'm going to break it down, and we'll see what either team is dealing with moving forward. The Packers-Cowboys game. And this is another team that I like to mention that has overcome a lot of adversity and snuck into the playoffs. Jordan Love, very solid first year as a starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. The defense has been decent all year. Joe Barry has had some moments where he got called out for drawing up terrible schemes, cannot defend the run, he can't defend the pass. But in the last two games when it mattered most, he executed. Jordan Love was allowed to make plays happen. He was able to get the run game going with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon and deliver to his guys. But I'm not so sure if Christian Watson's fully healthy though for this playoff game tomorrow. That's what leaves me concerned because they're going up against a Dallas Cowboys team that's explosive offensively and defensively. And Mike McCarthy taking on his former team in the exact same spot, the exact same place, where he had Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback in 2016. And that led to a Mason Crosby field goal, knocking off the number one seed Dallas Cowboys. But we're not talking about the past. We're talking about the present. It's Jordan Love versus Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has progressed heavily right there. His offense with CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, not even Dalton Schultz, Jalen Ferguson, not the Jalen Ferguson from my Ravens, rest in peace, but Jalen Ferguson from the Dallas Cowboys, their tight end. He has just been very, very explosive. Brandon Cooks. Extraordinary wide receiver. And going into the offensive line, they've been protecting Dak Prescott for the majority of the year. As for the defense, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and that secondary with Stephon Gilmore, even without Trevon Diggs, still was able to remain vigilant and aggressive as the season progressed. So, that being said, I'm going to take the Cowboys in this matchup right here. Green Bay could keep it close. Maybe they'll pull off an upset. I don't know. But either way, I see Dallas blowing them out. If Dallas continues to do what they've been doing all year, remain consistent, not turn the ball over, and making plays happen, they'll go on to the Divisional Round and play another home playoff game. So I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one. Next up, the Eagles and Buccaneers matchup. If you're an Eagles fan right now, what the heck has this team been doing over the last 6 games? They've been playing terrible football. They have not been executing well offensively. Jalen Hurts has no time to throw the football. The offensive line started from excellent to now turning in a downward spiral. They've been playing terrible over the last 6 games. They did not finish strong. They finished on a sour note right there. And defensively, those are soft coverages that Matt Patricia's throwing up. Like, what are you supposed to do about it? The defense is terrible. They've been bad over the last 6 games. They cannot stop the run. They can't stop the pass. They can't generate pressure. They can't get to the quarterback, leaving dudes wide open in the backfield. It's been a mess. It's been a hot mess for the Philadelphia Eagles. To make matters worse for them, injuries are starting to pile up. A.J. Brown's not going to play on that Monday night game. Jalen Hurts has a dislocated finger, so he's questionable. And Devontae Smith. Oh boy, Devontae Smith. I remember in the Cardinals game in Philadelphia, he walked out of the game into the locker room with crutches on, with a boot on his leg, with a cast on his leg. That's unfortunate. Nick Sirianni, your job is on the line on Monday night. You're on the hot seat, definitely. And if you very well lose this game against a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that's also struggling offensively, this could very well be the end for you in Philadelphia. But who knows? Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, yes, they are inconsistent offensively. But defensively, Todd Bowles, that's what he's known for. He's more of a defensive mind than an offensive mind. His defense likes to blitz and blitz and blitz constantly, generate pressure. Secondary is very iffy. Sometimes they hold up to their potential, sometimes they don't. But until then, I'm not going to say much about the defense because that's what they've been doing all year. They're more of a defensive team rather than generating offense and putting up points on the board. But Baker Mayfield's going to do whatever he does in order to lift this team to a success in a rematch that matters most. So, until then, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pulling off the upset against the Eagles, which I don't see the Eagles winning a game until next season. So, Philly, if you're gonna somehow win this game, you gotta really get it together because you're going into the playoffs with barely any energy based on what I'm seeing, and the momentum is gone. So we'll see what happens in Tampa Bay Monday night. Next up, on the NFC side, Lions hosting the Rams. This one should be a really good matchup in Detroit. It's the battle of Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff. The quarterbacks that literally got traded to their opposing teams right there. You know, from Matthew Stafford playing for a decade in Detroit, trade to the Rams. Jared Goff, drafted number 1 overall in 2017 from the Rams, took him to the Super Bowl, but it was not enough. Trade to Detroit because he was not the guy for them. And then as a result, Matthew Stafford in 2021 got the Rams a Super Bowl. But now, his Rams have to go on the road to Detroit to take on Jared Goff's Rams. Motown's going to have a blast on Sunday night. I'm going to guarantee you guys, first playoff game in Detroit for 3 decades, or for the first time in 3 decades, should be a blast for all the Lions fans. But when it comes down to whoever's winning this game, I feel for the Detroit Lions. My heart goes out to them. But in terms of experience, the Rams got the edge. They've been to the playoffs for about not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times over the last 7 seasons. Sean McVay has a lot to prove in this matchup with all the talent he has on this offense. Defense has been inconsistent all year. Aaron Donald, I get it. You're supposed to get something going but it's not your year. Luckily for you, you're saved by this offense. Your offense has been playing extraordinarily well. With Cooper Kupp being out, Puka Nacua was in there for him. And he's making his name being made in the league right here. His presence out there on the field has been extraordinary. He set historic records over the 18 weeks within a span of a season. That has been awesome by what this rookie has been doing. And Matthew Stafford definitely likes to see that. So, like I said, my heart goes out to the Detroit in this matchup, but my experience goes to the Rams. So, I'm going to pick the Rams to win this matchup on the road in Detroit and advance to the divisional round, where they'll likely face San Francisco in the divisional round. Now let's flip over to the AFC side. For the Steelers-Bills matchup, originally this game was supposed to be played tomorrow. However, due to a blizzard coming in Buffalo, the league decided to put up in a Monday night game. Or should I say a Monday afternoon game, because it's a 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time matchup. Nothing much to say about this besides the Steelers just sneaking into the playoffs like they most of the time do. But it's just Mike Tomlin Steelers. What else do you expect? But they're going up against a Buffalo team that they got it together. They got hot in the last half of the season. Josh Allen not turning the ball over that much, even though he still does this year. But he's limiting his turnovers, and his defense is starting to get together. So I'm going to pick the Bills in this one. And that they will not embarrass themselves, especially at home, too, in Western New York, in the cold weather. And look at the Steelers right now. Big bad news for them is TJ Watt will not play in that game. Whew. Mason Rudolph is going to get thrown into the Wolves. But who knows what's going to happen in that matchup. Next up, Dolphins facing off against the Chiefs. Tonight's game will be a very, very, very cold game, as that temperature will hit negative 30. It will feel like negative 30 degrees if you're in Kansas City. It'll be like watching a football game trapped in a freezer for 3 hours. That's just not for me. Not for me, ladies and gentlemen. And that game will still be played in the cold, because that's Arrowhead in a nutshell. Playing in Arrowhead in a hostile environment, the crowd noise, the cold, the wind. The Dolphins ain't used to playing in the cold. And Tua, for the record, playing on the road in the cold, 0-4 in his career. And in terms of playing on the road this year, he hasn't played that great, rather than playing at home being spectacular. So until then, the Dolphins just need to see what they can do in order to win this game. But I just don't see them pulling out this victory in Arrowhead, especially when your injuries are starting to pile up. Tyreek Hill got banged up multiple times. Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert. The offensive line looking shaky. The defense especially. Xavier Howard, Bradley Chubb, Jaden Phillips, which both of them are out for that game. It's unfortunate. Injuries are starting to pile up from Miami. Going against the Chiefs offense, they've been inconsistent all year. Receivers dropping balls left and right. Mahomes leading, or not even leading the league, but having the most interceptions that he's thrown in his career. 14 of them this year. It has been awful when it comes to protecting the football. Sad part about it is their defense has been terrific all year. He has one of the best defenses all year, just to have his offense go out there and play terrible. But if I had to pick between one of these two teams, last time they played each other was in Germany. Despite a crazy game, the Chiefs defense won the game for them. So I'm going to take the Chiefs defense to win the game for them, not the offense, even though Mahomes has to make plays to win the game and execute on all levels. Last but not least, we got the Browns and the Texans game that will happen in less than an hour, or should I say an estimated time of 57 minutes from now. By the time it's upload, this game should be moments away from kickoff. there's a lot that needs to be said. It should be a very good matchup between these two teams. Last time they played each other was Week 15 when the Browns edged the Texans 36-22, but that was the Texans without C.J. Stroud. With C.J. Stroud, they are built different. This kid can ball out on all cylinders. He can give it to his receivers on the deep pass, but most of all, Cleveland's defense is going to give him problems. Unless if his offensive line remains sharp today, C.J. Stroud will have his moments when he delivers the deep ball. The run game, they're going to be decent with Devin Singletary. But Myles Garrett is just too much for these quarterbacks to stay out of. Now for Joe Flacco today, he has a lot of experience when it comes to playoffs. This will be his first playoff appearance since 2014. Very crazy that he's finally back in the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. And he's going to take that offense to the next level. Delivering the ball to Amari Cooper, delivering the ball to Jerome Ford, David Njoku. He's going to deliver the ball to all of his guys. And Elijah Moore too. Their offense is very explosive. So Kevin Stefanski, I'm going to have to give you props for overcoming a lot of adversity this year as well. They were riddled with injuries, Deshaun Watson being out for the rest of the year, but Joe Flacco comes in because Watson gets hurt, and he helps them go 11-6, takes them to the playoffs. Very crazy that the Browns overcome so much adversity to get to this point in time. So, once again, I'm going to play a game called Heart and Experience. My heart goes out to the Texans for finally making the playoffs for the first time since 2019. But in terms of experience, you guys don't have enough. But you can find a way to beat Cleveland your way. Until then, they're just going to go play tricks on your sleeve. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns in this matchup. This is going to be close. It may come down to the wire in the fourth quarter in the last 2 minutes. We shall see what happens from there. So, those are my predictions. On the NFC side, Packers-Cowboys, I'm taking Dallas. The Buccaneers-Eagles matchup, I'm taking the Bucks. The Lions-Rams matchup, I'm taking the Rams. Then the AFC side, Steelers-Bills, I got Buffalo. Dolphins-Chiefs, I got KC. Last but not least, Browns-Texans, I got Cleveland winning that matchup. Those are my wildcard predictions. Now let's get into the Ravens. Second report, I've been getting news that Mark Andrews is getting back in practice. That is certainly enlightening news right there. And it's certainly very positive for the fan base to hear that our number one tight end and Lamar's number one receiver is back in action. But we shall wait and see if we decide to put him in that playoff game against, I got a feeling it's going to be Cleveland, but who knows. But we shall wait and see how Mark Andrews does for the next couple days. If he gets 100% healthy, it will be certainly nice to get him back for the playoffs. And we're going to utilize him with this amazing receiving core that we have. Isaiah Likely, Charlie Kolar, OBJ, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, Nelson Aguilar. This receiving core has been fantastic down the stretch. Lamar Jackson is very impressed of what he's seen so far down the field. He's seen guys making plays. His offensive line has remained disciplined, giving him enough time in the pocket to throw the football, combined with the run game that we're so prideful in. And that defense is a top 3 defense, unquestionably. And more news came out that Roquan Smith, our linebacker, has won Triple Crown Award out of all linebackers. This linebacker has been a difference maker all season with Patrick Queen and that defense. So hats off to him. Hats off to Mark Andrews for getting back in practice. Hats off to Roquan Smith for winning that Triple Crown Award of linebackers. From now, I'm just going to have to wait and see how this team is fully prepared heading to the postseason. So, Coach Harbaugh is going to do whatever he can to get this team prepared. He is giving Dalvin Cook some reps in practice too. But it's all about staying healthy, focused, locked in, staying loose, staying in shape, and mentally focused at the task at hand. That's my report for y'all. So moments from now, we wait the kickoff of the Cleveland Browns-Houston Texans matchup and let the playoffs begin. With that being said, that's all I gotta say. Let's get it.